Hi, this is Bill Kelly in the Cottrell's Cove, Fortune Harbor area of Notre Dame Bay. Farming country, they tell us. Now I ask you, does this look like farming country to you? It's a beautiful area, all right, a perfect picture postcard. But this can't be farming country, can it?
No, nobody sits a potato.
Is that right?
They might sit 2 or 3 bits. Yeah. But I tell you, nobody does nothing now. Only the fellas got on the programs here this summer, that's the only time to work since I've been here.
Now that old-timer ought to know. He's lived here most of his life. So let's see what you make of this fellow.
Jim, we're hearing a lot of strange things about you. What exactly do you do?
Well, Bill, I'm a farmer. It's as simple as that. A little different type of farmer. We don't milk cows and we don't tend herds of any kind, but we are farming here.
Jim, this is going to take a bit of convincing.
Well, not really, Bill. Come on, I'll show you.
Okay, good enough.
One thing for sure, Jim Ward's no gentleman farmer. Look at the state of his truck. But before we write this man off, let's at least give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I came from Timmins, Ontario originally and went to Labrador. In fact, I've done things in reverse, Bill. I came from the mainland to Newfoundland, to St. John's, and now I'm out here in Cottrell's Cove, Fortune Harbor.
Watch carefully now. There's an important clue coming up. There it is. Now we know there's water involved, and the man says he's a farmer. He's obviously talking about some sort of aquaculture. But what sort? Do you know yet?
Well, sir, what do we got?
Well, Bill, there it is. It's one of the largest operations of its kind in the country.
That's it right there, huh?
That's it, right in front of you.
If you guessed mussel farming, you're right. There's about 1 million pounds of mussels out there waiting to be harvested next spring. Mussel farming shouldn't come as too big a surprise. It's been big business in Nova Scotia and PEI for years.
But why would anyone want to produce cultured mussels here in Newfoundland? Our waters are full of the wild ones. They're everywhere, free for the taking. You can go out just like this and scoop them off the bottom by the ton.
The quality of the finished product is the basic reason for growing rather than scraping it off the bottom. The wild mussel that is commonly known to pretty well all Newfoundlanders is full of grit, dirt, etc. The meats aren't very big in them. When I say big, I'm talking in relative terms to the shell. The cultured mussel, on the other hand, is a very, shall we say, good product in that it's clean, young, succulent. I can't really say enough about it. It's the type of thing that people really have to taste to appreciate.
Jim, we've tasted the mussels here, and I must say that they're better than the ones I've tasted on the mainland. Is there really a difference?
Yes, there's a difference, and that relates basically to the water here in Newfoundland. Throughout all of Newfoundland, the waters are very good. A little cooler, the growing maybe a little bit slower, but the finished product is the best certainly in this country.
So how do you actually get into growing these supposedly superior mussels? First, you need money, lots of it. That big barge and other gear costs a small fortune. For example, have you checked the cost of rope lately? There's 1 million feet out there on long lines stretching from one end of the inlet to the other. And those workers don't come cheaply either. About a dozen have been working here for more than 3 years, working hard, but essentially on the dead, because the first real harvest won't come until next spring. So far, the federal and provincial governments have put $500,000 into this operation, and the owners are on the hook for another $250,000 in loans. Other than money, the single most important thing in setting up a mussel farm is finding the right spot. Larry Yetman knows all about that. He's a mussel specialist with Federal Fisheries.
This site is good here because as you can see, it's a very well sheltered inlet or bay here that Atlantic Ocean Farms has, and it's free from Arctic ice, and it's also free from moving ice in the wintertime. We just get a general melt off here. The ice breaks up in sort of a melting fashion, and that means that you're not going to have rafting together of your buoys and lines. There's no movement with the ice, and your gear stays very, very stationary.
Also, Larry, tidal action is important, isn't it?
Tidal action is another big factor. A good flushing on your site brings food into the mussels, plankton into water, brings the plankton into the mussels, and it also washes away any debris or dirt that might be in the water.
Once you find the right location, mussel farming is really simple. Simple, but at the same time ingenious. Mussel spawn, or spat as they call it, floats through the water, carried along by the currents. After a while, it either grabs onto something in the water, a floating log, the end of a wharf, anything, or it settles to the bottom. The trick is to intercept the spawn before it settles.
The collectors are relatively simple, as you can certainly see. They're just pieces of rope that are hung in the water. We've got about 35,000 of those in the water. And you can see how easy they are to strip. That's the beauty of them. They're just as simple as can be to strip, which cuts the labor content down. And simplicity. Everything we do, simplicity is a key word. And this is really the simplest way to do it, as you're seeing right here now.
The rope collectors work beautifully. In a few weeks, they're blocked with fully developed mussels, shell and all, but they're very small, only about 1/4 of an inch long. Now it's time for the next part of the operation.
What you're seeing is the seed that came from the collectors just a few minutes ago onto the table, and the water pressure forces the seed through the tube you see on the front into the sock, similar to filling a sausage. We try to get somewhere around 300 seeds per foot of socking material. That seems to be, it's a rough figure, but it's a figure that seems to work well as far as giving all little individual mussels a fair shot at the food in the water. One of the problems with mussels in their natural state, or wild mussel, is that he's constantly fighting and scrapping for the bit of food that is available to them. This way we supply food in that we are thinning out the numbers of mussels that are fighting or competing for the same food. They're in the sock at this moment. As you can see, they're going right back in the water again. And within 24 hours, 48 at the outside, they will have migrated through the mesh and attached to the outside of the sock. And the sock then just becomes a core upon which they're attached. We do nothing from this point on until they're ready to go to market.
At this point, growing mussels is a bit like watching paint dry. It's really boring. You just leave them alone and let them grow to their heart's content. 2 years later, the mussels are ready to be harvested.
What we're doing here is a harvest. As you can see, we're hooking onto the long line, onto the hydraulics, and we walk the long line similar to a cable car. And once again, as you can obviously see, the socks come out of the water, they're cut off, pulled in, and stripped. It's a quick operation, cost efficient. Quite simple once the system's in place.
That stripping is really incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really quick.
The winch helps, but this is still back-breaking work. Those socks weigh about 70 pounds now. Hard to believe they were only 5 to 6 pounds when they were put into the water.
Okay.
Oh my. These socks have been handled so often that there's fall off on them and everything else. You know, we've shown any number of people these things at this stage, and you can see how easily the stuff strips, comes off. As for stripping them, this gives you an idea of how the sock has become the core and everything came to the outside. Stripping them is only a joke, really.
Finally, the mussels are taken here to the plant, a small building on the government wharf in Fortune Harbor.
Right here, they're taking the tote pans of mussels that you saw stripped on the harvester, putting them into a declumper size grater. Literally just shoveling them into the hopper, and the machine does the rest. At the far end, we'll end up with a marketable product. At this stage, we're hand sorting. This for broken shell, etc., making sure that no undersize has worked its way through. These are what we call our consumer packs. They contain somewhere between 50 to 65 mussels per pack. The thing that has to be kept in mind that it's a live product, and they'll live easily for 10 days in this live state, just in your fridge.
Now, there's no point in growing mussels if you can't sell them. That's Dave Walsh's job.
Hi. Hi. Try some of these cultivated mussels?
I'm just wondering, I don't know what they taste like.
They're delicious. What are you used to eating? Are you used to eating shellfish?
Yeah, I'm from Atlantic Canada, but I've never tasted these. I'm new to this area.
Dave Walsh is head of the company. Walsh handles the money, and he's also responsible for marketing and coming up with new products. That's all secondary, of course. New customers come first.
Steam them open, and they're mollusks like clams.
Oh, yes, you get directions here, eh?
Yeah, they're cooking instruction, and there are a few different recipes on the bag itself that you can try. My company here that we're promoting the product.
Oh, I see. You're
So-
promoting these. Oh, I
Yes.
see. Okay, now why should I buy these instead of clams? Tell me, are they sweet or are they...
Well, they're sweeter. I find them sweeter tasting than clams. They have a different flavor than clams do.
I see.
And they're more readily available here in Newfoundland than clams are.
Yes, I know that.
And if you're a clam lover and can't buy them, I'm sure you'll like mussels, cultivated mussels,
Sounds
equally
good.
as well, or if not better.
Sounds good, and they're priced according, they're all the same price.
Yeah, these are a kilo bag. They're packed at a kilo.
Very good. I like the idea of 2 bags because usually the bag usually breaks somewhere along the line. You get the that's
Juice
good.
all over the store or yourself.
Okay, well, I'll try them out.
Okay.
I don't know what they'll be like, but I'm sure they'll be good.
Well, I hope you're a regular customer here of Sobeys and buying our mussels.
Okay, if I like them, I'll buy more.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Yes. Nice talking
Okay.
to you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
David, notice here at Sobeys you have your mussels, the cultured ones, and here are the wild ones over here. And yet a lot of people seem to be buying the wild ones. Why on earth would you buy those if you can buy those?
Good question. Well, I guess the reason is that these have been around longer. People are probably more used to the wild mussels, and they pick them themselves around the shoreline. And the cultivated mussels are relatively new. You can take the shell and well, crack it fairly easily. Yeah. Now, try to do that with that, you'll never do it. So you're paying for a shell, whereas here you're paying some for a shell, but it's a very thin shell, so you get a better yield out of this product compared to that one. Now, the price of the wild ones is lower. That may have an effect or a reason why people buy the wild ones compared to the cultured ones, but they don't understand that actually if they pay a little more for these, they're getting more for their money because they're not buying a big, heavy shell. Looks like you're selling them pretty good.
The next stop, FPI's Specialty Seafood Store in St. John's. You've got to have those guys on side. And if you're really lucky, you get to display your product in the lobster tank. Just perfect.
Do they comment on the cleanness of the mussels compared to
Yes,
the wild ones?
a lot of people are turned off by the fact that the wild ones, they have to scrape the beards off them, and they have to do a little bit more work, whereas the cultivated ones, like you say, they are nice and clean, smooth shells. That saves a little bit of work, and it's a little bit more appetizing when they have to serve that product.
Paul, I'd like to show you the new product we've been working on. It's a mussel salad.
And what better time or place to peddle a new product? A competitor for those bottled mussels now brought in from Scandinavia.
It is delicious.
Everyone has said that. I'm glad your comments are the same as everybody else's. I never get sick of them.
It's very nice.
So this will come out now. Our target to have this out is for this Christmas.
Well, that'd be ideal, because something like this would go over very well for the Christmas season.
Good morning, Dave. It's Ted Flanagan from ETF Enterprises in Toronto. Loblaws is going to run your consumer packed mussels 1 week from Monday. Please arrange 2 LD3 containers out of Gander for pickup by Herb Transport on Sunday.
Back at his office, a nice order from the mainland. But with £1 million on his hands, Dave Walsh will need plenty of those by next spring.
Thanks, and have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.
Anybody getting involved with this?
If this man is right, Dave Walsh will have a lot more good days.
The market right now for the fresh live product in North America is quite good at this point in time. The demand far exceeds the supply.
Okay, boys.
Ian Burford is with Provincial Fisheries. He's setting up small experimental farms all over the province. Burford says done properly, fishermen could earn $5,000, maybe even $10,000 a year on the side.
And we had 26 individuals who were approved to receive the gear incentive and actually conducted a site evaluation last year. This year, the program continued with another 27 or more applicants. The program is open to anyone. Most of the people that are involved with the program are fishermen simply because they do have a boat, motor, and lots of rope and floats and that, have access to this particular type of material.
Today, Burford is on the southern shore, checking on Cyril Ryan's operation at Aqua Fort.
What a lovely day.
Nice day.
How's things been over the winter now? You good
Very
survival? I see
good.
The floats are up good.
No problem.
That's good.
Say I'm some 3 to 4 feet. No problem with ice.
Yeah. Stocked the mussels yet?
No, not yet. Next week or so now.
No, it's too.
Say I'm some 3 to 4 feet.
18 months to 2 years to get them to grow.
Good news for Cyril. He's right on target.
That's right. Well, you could sell them. We're basically looking at the fresh, live market. Usually undersized mussels, which are less than 2-inch shell length, will be used for secondary processing, which would be marinade product or canning or what have you. But for the wild, live, or the live fresh market, that 2-inch shell length is ideal. That's the recommended size. And hopefully, depending again on water temperatures, you might find maybe later on in the fall or possibly next spring they'll be ready to go.
We've heard from the promoters and the bureaucrats. For a more independent assessment of cultured mussels, we went to the real world, the kitchen of the Mount Peyton Hotel in Grand Falls. Chef Dave King specializes in seafood.
It's not very hard to tell the difference between those cultured and the other mussels. The other one's full of sand, isn't it?
That's right. Now, let's take a couple of culture ones and try it.
Oh, okay. So these are the cultured,
Yeah,
and these are your wild mussels.
these are the wild mussels.
A lot more shell on the wild ones too, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot more.
So that's the cultured.
Culture ones.
How's that?
Sweet, they're good. It's a sweet taste.
Yeah.
These here. Culture ones are have a lot better taste.
Is that right?
A lot better taste.
So I guess the cultured ones you're going to be selling your guests.
I guess so.
Oh, gee, they look great, don't they? They really do look nice.
They do look nice on the platter.
Yeah, they do. Oh, thank you, my dear.
Experts' opinions are fine, of course, but the only real opinion that counts is the customers. Here at the Mount Peyton, the staff agreed to help us out in a taste test.
For a minute, if you don't mind.
Fresh mussels are not very popular here yet, but they're already a big seller in seafood restaurants all over Canada and the States. They're a delicacy, very much in demand, and they're perfectly suited to today's fitness-crazed society, low in calories, high in protein.
But forget all that. The real reasons mussels are so popular is because of this. Taste. They're great. Are you a mussel fan anyway, Mr. Gallagher?
Yeah, I enjoy mussel very much.
How do you find those?
Very, very tasty, I must say.
Well, how's that, Sharon?
It tastes delicious.
Yeah? Oh, great.
Sweet.
Yeah, all hands have been saying that everyone who's tasted those say they're much sweeter
Try one in butter now.
than the wild. Yeah?
In butter, it's
The
really
garlic
good.
butter really does the trick on it, doesn't it? Real nice. Okay, Gloria, tell us honestly now, what do you think of those?
I think they're terrific.
Yeah? When you think about it, what could be better? A glass of wine, fresh steamed mussels, drop of garlic butter, all is wonderful. Thanks for your company. Bon appetit, and good night.